Okay, hey everybody, this is your tutorial for 6-2. You can take a look at this. This will help you navigate through the 6-2 application problem. All right, this is pretty easy also, and it's pretty quick, just like the trial balance section was. We're going to do the adjustments now. Okay, there are two accounts that we're going to adjust before we get ready to prepare our numbers for financial statements. Okay, and up here, the information that they give us should give you a clue as to which two accounts they are. So it says on April 30th of the current year, Fix It Now has completed the trial balance columns, which we did in the last problem. And it says to analyze the adjustment information given here into debit and credit parts and record the adjustments on the worksheet. Okay, so it's telling us at the end of April that the value of supplies on hand is $75 and the value of the insurance policy is $250. If we look down here on the worksheet, we can see, oops, let me just make that visible. If you look at supplies on the worksheet, you can see that you started out with $228 worth of supplies, okay? That's the value of supplies at the beginning of the month. That was the April 1st value of supplies. Well, now at the end of the month, having been in business for a month, you have obviously used supplies while you were operating your business. So the inventory, the supplies value has gone down. All right, so we started out with 228 and we ended up with 75. And if you subtract that, you subtract the $75 ending balance from the $228 beginning balance, you're going to see that you used $153 worth of supplies. Okay, so we're going to come over here to the adjustments column and we're going to enter a 153 credit for supplies. Okay, the reason we're entering a credit is because supplies has a debit balance, and to offset that debit balance, we have to enter a credit balance so that when you subtract this credit balance from this debit balance, you're going to end up with this $75 debit balance at the end of the month, which is what you're supposed to have, okay? If we didn't adjust supplies and insurance at the end of the month, when you prepare these numbers for the financial statements, these values would be overinflated, okay? All right, so before I move on to insurance, you know with double entry accounting, where there is a credit, there has to be a debit, and vice versa. If you enter a debit, you have to enter a credit. So we've entered a credit here. So now we need to enter a 153 debit somewhere. And that's where this supplies expense account comes in. That's a new account, and that it's created just for this purpose. So we're going to enter 153 debit in supplies expense. So we have a debit to supplies expense and a credit to supplies. Okay, and they offset each other. And that should make sense to you because this expense account shows that we used $153 worth of supplies. Okay, so for the insurance now, the insurance starts out with $375. Okay, and you can see that we ended with a total of $250. So that means we used $125 worth of insurance. So in the credit column of the adjustment section, we're going to enter $125 as a credit. Again, same principle that the supplies account that I showed you with the supplies account. You're starting out with a $375 debit in insurance. You're using $125 worth of insurance. That's going to leave you with $250 supply. $250 value for insurance. All right, and we've entered a credit, so we need to enter a debit somewhere. So that's where this insurance expense comes into play. All right, we have a $125 credit to prepaid insurance. Now we need a $125 debit to insurance expense. Okay, and so these two entries offset each other. And same thing as the trial balance, you need to add these columns up. So you can see that 125 and 153 is 278. And again, 153 and 125 is 278. So debits equal credits. And that's it for this adjustment section.